It's hard to believe that it's already been 3 months since I decided to pick up this MPC Live 2 from Guitar Center. And I'm about to share with you guys if I think it was worth it or not. Now, a year ago, you couldn't tell me that I was going to end up using the MPC Live 2 or MPC at all for that matter. Over time, I decided to just try something new, and I'm very glad that I did. Over these past few months, I've been busy nonstop with life. I've really been on the go. And during that time, the MPC has been like my best creation tool. During the process of moving, I broke down the entire studio setup I had and everything. But the MPC was there for me to just plug up, make a beat, headphones, no headphones, battery plugged into the wall. However I wanted to do it, I was able to do it. And that is the benefit of standalone. And that's the first thing I want to talk about. The MPC Live 2 being a standalone unit is amazing. It is my favorite standalone tool. I honestly haven't dived too deep into standalone outside of the Machine Plus. So, or you know what, I even throw the iPad on there. I've made beats on the iPad, the mobile phone, and the Machine Plus. And my favorite thing is the MPC Live 2. It's just something about it. You can do pretty much anything inside of it, and the sounds that you can purchase are great. The sounds that it come with, or at least came with when I got it, was great, and they keep adding more effects and more sounds to it. And I've invested a lot of my own money into this outside of the initial investment of buying the unit itself. I have a stand for it. I don't know if you guys can see it right now, but my MPC is up on a stand. I invested in multiple sounds, whether it's the plugins. I caught a deal on those, so I bought those. Every time they come out with new effects, I tend to buy those as well. Like I bought Sprite, and I forgot what the Sprite Ether, and then Low Fly Dirt, I believe is what it was called. Bought all those, they were on sale. I mean, $60 for all of them. So definitely for the inspiration is great. So I'm fully invested into the MPC right now in standalone. So just off the standalone abilities alone, the MPC Live 2 is amazing. I've taken it to the park, made beats in the car. When we first moved in here, didn't have a desk or anything, but I sat on the floor and made a beat just because. I love that, being able to just open it up and just make beats wherever. For example, last night I was downstairs with my family. My wife was doing her thing, my son was doing his thing. I took the MPC Live 2 to the kitchen counter, and I just sat there and I made beats for about an hour and a half. It's great for that. Didn't need anything. Just unplugged it, went on about my business, made a few beats, and just had fun. That is the great part about the MPC Live to me. So moving away just from standalone, I've enjoyed making my beats on here. The software that's on the MPC hardware is great. A lot of people told me that I probably enjoy it because it was the MPC 3.0 and it wasn't as hard for me to learn it. It was still some things I needed to learn, but it was still a good time to get started with it. I did everything from making original beats. I did sampling on here. I sampled vinyl into the MPC. I sampled my phone directly into the MPC. And I believe I have a video on sampling vinyl on the MPC. If I didn't do that, I definitely posted a short about it, but I can do a full video on that if you guys want to see that. Outside of that, I've arranged my beats, which it took me a second to get a hang of. So as you see, I have Logic up back there because I'm used to arranging my beats inside of Logic or Machine. Coming to MPC, it was a whole new world for me to learn when it came to arranging. There's so many different ways to arrange your beats inside of the MPC in comparison to something like a Logic or Machine, where there's only a few ways that you can really go about it. I mean, it's really only a handful here. I said a lot, but it's really only a handful of different ways you could do it, but there's multiple ways to do it. And that was cool. I invested a lot of time learning how to go about arranging my beats inside of the MPC. And it took me a minute to get my hands around the idea of doing it, or get my head around the idea of doing it. But once I got it, I got it. And I go back and forth between the two different ways that I like to do. Sampling is a big thing with MPC. A lot of people that's their main thing right there. If they had an MPC, they want to sample, which is cool. I like sampling. However, I still prefer to sample in Serato Sample just because it's easy. So that just works for me. Now I have used the warp feature and all of that on here, the time stretch, everything to sample, and I made some great sample beats. As a matter of fact, I made a short clip of a sample beat I made, and somebody picked up that beat like immediately. So that was smooth. But For me, I still prefer Serato sample. I will say I enjoy sampling on here and compared to Logic without Serato sample or Machine without Serato sample. I would still take doing it on the MPC personally. When it comes to original beats, I've enjoyed making my beats on the MPC Live too. The one complaint that I have is when I try to perform on the pads, sometimes they double trigger. I have went ahead and played around with the sensitivity settings and all of that, but nothing really seemed to help. Over time, it's not nearly as bad as it was when I first got it. So maybe it was just something with the pads being brand new at that point that I needed to just continue to play around with, but I still experience it from time to time. If I'm trying to do a piano, I may end up doubling a note or something like that, or a few notes, and I have to go back into the grid and delete them. But I mean, that's just what you got to do sometimes. However, one thing that I've done with this is I have plugged in my Native Instruments Control S61 into the MPC in standalone mode, and it works great. I'll lock in whatever scale that I'm working in on the MPC. I'll put it into the control and I'm good to go. It flows perfectly. I can't control the MPC from the controller, but just for me to have some keys, it's perfect. And this right here is where some people fall off of the standalone bandwagon or whatever you want to call it. They get off the whole standalone thing, and that is the limitations that you have. Some of the limitations that I've encountered while making beats on the MPC Live 2 is, of course, it's small. It doesn't have a whole lot of RAM, so therefore I have ran into issues where sometimes when I use studio strings, it will get to a point where I get the warning about the CPU and the memory. So I will have to record the audio or bounce one of the plugins I have mounted to audio, so that way it's not using up much CPU anymore. I'm not mad at it, but it does kind of throw off what I'm doing sometimes. But again, I'm not mad at it. There's workarounds to it. Hopefully in a future unit, there will be more RAM where I won't have to deal with that. Or I say we won't have to deal with it, because I've heard other people also complain about that. Then some people complain about the limitations of the sounds that you have. I kind of like it because I'm able to make quicker decisions. Yes, it may not be my favorite sound or something like that, but I'm moving through them like that to keep the process going. I'm not going through looking for presets and tweaking too much stuff. I do tweak the sounds a little bit. What I do is I will get a piano and throw something like the new Sprite on there and go through it and tweak it a little bit till it becomes what I like. If you watch my other videos, I do the same thing on the software. I'll make a beat and then, or get a sound, and then I'll go and throw guitar rig on it, and I already have the presets that I've tweaked and I saved them so that way I can just go back to them because I like them so much. But on here, you're kind of limited by the plugins you have. I don't know if it's going to show you all of them, but I have all of them that's available right now, I believe, right here. And honestly, it's good to get the ideas out. Like I said, I made full beats on here and had people pick up those beats, so it's definitely capable of it. But when you have libraries of thousands of thousands of thousands of thousands of sounds, sometimes you miss it. And that's what happened to me after going so long just on this for, I think I did 2.5, maybe almost 3 full months of non-stop standalone production on the MPC. I missed using the sounds that I have on the computer, such as Omnisphere, Keyscape, even Nexus. I'm trying to think. I have so many different contact libraries from Native Instruments, and I just missed using those. So I got back to the space where I started using those again, and it felt good. But then once I got off the computer and went back to the MPC still felt good. So it's good to have both. At least to me, it's good to have both. I will go back and forth nonstop. Now, some of you guys may say, well, how come you just don't use the MPC software? I tried it for a second and I haven't dived too deep into it, and I'm probably just gonna have to dedicate more time into actually making sure that I learn the software. And now it's pouring rain outside, so if you hear that, that's what it is. But I want to talk about the software for a second. I know we have the new MPC, I think 3.5 software for the computers. I've tried to use it, but it's just not the same feel as using my machine. Seriously, like for me, if I'm going to make beats on a computer, I'm going to this. I know this like the back of my hand, so I don't have to take the time to learn a new software because I already know everything with this on the computer. Same thing with Logic. I know Logic very well as well. Not as well as I know Machine, but I know Logic. So I'm able to just make the beats like that. There's no thinking involved. So for me to actually take the time to learn the MPC software, it may be worth it. I may enjoy it. But for me right now, I'm trying to just move quick. So when it comes down to it, this wins at Standalone. But if I'm at home on a computer or just want to be using my other stuff, I'm going with this for now. For now, because I may end up going back and learning the MPC software when I just have some time or I just want to learn it. I don't think there's anything wrong with using more than one tool. They're all tools to make music. You don't have to get this because somebody said get the MPC. For years, so many people told me to get the MPC. I didn't listen. I was doing my own thing. I loved Machine, so I'm sticking with Machine. People, oh, it's better than this, better than that. At the end of the day, everybody's gonna have their own opinion about what's best, but you just have to remember what works best for you. That's the best thing I could say out this whole video, because I already had people DMing me, I can't believe you switched to MPC, or wow, like the last video I dropped where I said I went back to Machine to make a beat. I only did that so that way the title will get people to watch. I mean, that's what you got to do on YouTube. I just can't say Machine beat making anymore. I used to be able to do that years and years ago. I could have did that and got thousands of views. Did it over and over and over again and it worked. But now you have to get people engaged. So I didn't necessarily switch to Machine. I mean, I did switch back to make a beat, but I've been making beats on Machine for like the past week and I've been having fun. Like I started all over again. So once I went back to MPC last night, it was like I just bought it again. So don't get so caught up on it has to be this, that, this or that. Explore, have fun, and figure it out. So to me, was the MPC Live 2 a worthy investment? Yes, it was. Like I said, I've made beats on here, had rappers reach out about the beats that I made on here. So that turns into more money. You know, if they put the song out, you know how that goes. They might want it, don't do nothing with it, but then it goes somewhere else. But even beyond that, I'm getting my ideas out, more music into the world. So it's worth it. But I do want to also say this, the hardware itself was just the starting investment. I bought a SSD to go in the back of this so that way I always have my stuff. I kind of regret buying the SSD because I had a huge SD card that's easier for me to just take out and plug in. That's probably my only regret when it came to investing in this, just because it's simple for me to just pop this out, plug it into my computer and keep going. I don't have to get the cord, go to the controller mode, all of that. So, I mean, to each his own. Maybe that's not a regret, but outside of that, I had the SSD, the SD card that I invested in, the plug-in bundle I bought for this, the expansion packs I bought for this, the stand I bought for this, the protector I bought for this. So I'm fully invested, and I think that is all the things I bought so far outside of the other plugins for effects that I bought for this. So once again, I'm fully invested in this, and I would never tell somebody they have to pick one or the other, because the way I'm doing it right now, this is like my fun. If I just want to go make some beats outside of here, go somewhere, if I'm traveling and I want to take this with me, throw it in a bag, it's going with me, leaving the computer, everything else at home. But if I'm at my home studio space and I want to use all of my sounds that I've accumulated over the years that don't work on here, I'm going to this. So that's it, you guys. I'm not going to keep this video any longer. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Hopefully this was a good video to let you guys know, where I'm coming from when it comes to the MPC. I do want to make sure that I say thank you to a lot of you guys who reached out throughout the process of me learning the MPC. I still am not 100% there with the MPC, like knowing everything. So I'm still learning, still having fun, and that's the main thing. A lot of you guys reached out with your own tips and tricks. I appreciate that 100%. I watched a lot of videos. I appreciate that too. And again, it's kind of hard not to get excited when I see this. So to me, it was worth the investment. I look forward to doing more of today's studio videos with this. I've been busy, as I've mentioned, life, birthdays, anniversaries, moving, all of that and unpacking and, you know, building things. So now we're starting to get to that settled place so that way I can get back to doing that. And that's what I'm going to do with this. This will be a part of that Today's Studio series where I just go and make beats in different places. So I appreciate you guys again. If you have any questions about this, drop them in the comments below. Or if you have any questions about Machine, drop them in the comments below. I'm pretty good with both of them. Still trying to get myself up to that level with this, but it's probably going to take a little bit longer. But I'm having fun in the process, knocking these beats out. Appreciate y'all tuning in out there. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Take care.